Pussycat, bitch, here. It's a fine day. Pussycat, please sit down. Sit down, Pussycat. Anyway, I had it as something that got into me crow. And I didn't want to crow over it, so I figured I'd talk about it. And what it was is, we had some people come by here. They used to come by here all the time and talk to me about the Yah. But did Jesus and various certain things. And they could come up here a couple of weeks ago. And I opened the door. Well, because I heard them. And I opened the door before they got there, and I just said, well, Shabbat Shalom, which was just a way of saying, well, happy Sabbath. I'm glad to see you. Anyway, they come up in here and talking to me. And what was so strange is, when I saw them, I said, you must be new people. Gals. Most people know better than not come up and talk to Coach Catfish. And that's unfortunate, because I want to talk to them. I do not get much in the way of fellowship. And you take it where you get it. It's like that man. He's just looking for a friend. Well, I appreciate it when somebody comes around. But what got strange is he told me that I had to be a spiritually Yehudish to have any kind of... we got to the weather. Any kind of circumstances. And, of course, I said, where's that at? And, well, of course, he didn't have anything to say. He just gave me a pamphlet and said, Coach Gibbons, you take a gander at this here. And I said, well, come back and see me, please, sir. But before you go, can we join hands and pray? And I got over close to him, and I said, gravitated their arms. So there's two of them. There's a father and son team. And they jerked it back from me, like that Yehudish boy, when the dent reached out to shake his hand. No, Nida. It's not doodah, Nida. Anyway, you bleeding hearts. So what was it? They said you had to have this here identity of this here spiritual Yehoods. And I just did not know where that come from. So I figured I'd go back, because a lot of people may believe this here stuff. And when you look back and you say, why do these people think this way? They think this has got to do with some bloodline. Now, there's something that comes through the bloodline, and it had to come through somewhere. Other things come through other ways, and that just comes through there. Because when you start stopping and look at the Yehud, there's some good and there's some bad, just like in everything else. But the first king of Israel, and that's when they joined it together, 257, when it was first joined together, first king was a Benjamite. Well, that's disastrous. The odd it told the old judge and the prophet individual, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me. So think nothing of it. Do what you got to do, and you apparently he served Yah well. I just can't. I'm losing names. It's bad. Issues with your tissues and you lose his names, but you don't lose the story, because we focus on the story. Anyway, what did happen after that? Well, the Benjamite become a king. Well, that's disastrous completely. And then next thing you know, well hell, next king come up, it's the David, the Ud, he's that guy. And he's after Yah's heart, because he understood repentance, and he understood going for the heart of Yah. Well, that's my brother Judah. Well, and then the next one that come up was this Solomon boy, the youngin'. He died very early, and he was friends to a lot of things. And the whole thing, all this here went on. And after the Shlomo, the Solomon, after he went to the side, them brothers down there, they sort of colluded, and they's is this a north and south situation? Israel at the top. There's all the other tribes, and Judah, and the other brothers, the Benjamite, and who else was down there? Like you, surely it was not Simeon. It was one of the other brothers. Anyway, this was the southern of the kingdom and the northern kingdom. And what happened after the situation was, well, after a tax revolt, basically is sort of what it was, because the Yehud bloodline, the David bloodline, would not accept the council, the wise council of the elders. Well, hell, it blew it to poo-poo. And they had wars and there was issues all after that. And still, we're apart. But, see, that's not the thing. And that's what everybody tries to focus on. Because what it was, about the Abraham man. He's man from But they say, well, maybe he was from up here instead of down there. But the thing is, all of us people that look at the Abraham, there was no Yehudish except in his what you say? How you say it kindly? His ball sack, numerous generations down. He's someone there, and then here's genetics, along with his future mama, and the Leah mama, Leah woman, and that's what it was. So the whole thing, it was never about bloodlines. What it was when Abram was called out, you go can read some other extracurricular stuff, and you'll find out he was from a polytheist society. Polytheism. Just like Egypt and most everything else. Because back in the day, everybody understood that you had your local God, your local Elohim, your local power one. And Coach Campus believes that, there's something to the myth and legend. Because I do think that the demigods is walking it amongst us at one time. And maybe these here gods that they have, that was just what it was. So what it was is, anyway, at large, people accepted many gods. Not many gods, not little ones, but multi-gods. Many gods. And that's why, even in the Rome, I think it was, they had the statue for the unknown God, because, well, hell, you just want to bow down to all of them. And that's what it was. The thing was, the Abraham man, he is called out of that. He's called out from polytheism to monotheism, to the one him. And that's what it was. And the thing was, that was a huge thing. It was not a bloodline. It was a choice and a decision. And if you go back and look, there's many other societies that did this here stuff. And the Egyptians, they did it too, because they went through that period where they had the Aten and the Akhenaten and his young after that and stuff. And he come up with he turned to the idea of the Aten, the sun. The single sun. But it was the S-U-N. But of course there's a lot of theology about this here stuff, because all them old people back in the day, they was right religious. Because there's all kind of stuff that would kill you, and it was very harsh on earth. And people today do not give up enough of the obedience to appreciate 752, what they have. And, those concerns, me and you both. But the thing was, it was not about any bloodline. Because there's many of the cultures back in then that they accepted the Yah, or the Jove, or the Jovial, or the ha-ha-ha. There's many gods. They accepted him. And I think historically, he's considered like the sky god, a storm god, something that ruled the heavens and had stuff happen. You have to excuse me. We got all kind of weather going on here. Not enough moisture. And I got a pussycat pushing over here. What's wrong? Poor thing. Coach Catfish ain't felt good, so I ain't been outside trying to be around a pussycat. But anyway, this here Hebrew thing, it was about people that crossed over. The initial one that crossed it over, the Abram. And the thing was, he was down there from the Chaldees. And that's sort of, I recognize Iraq. And that's right by the Iran. And the thing was, no names like that existed back then. That was the era with the blah, 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 9/11. It would be Babylon. I said Babylon, and there it was, 9/11. The Babylon in that era. And the Syrians and the Persians and the Medes, all that stuff was fought over back in the day. And that's where if you accept the blood of the Lamb, of Yahusha, the Jesus, that's where it all come from. It come from over there. And there was no Jewish people over there. So our ancestors and our forefathers, well, hell, they's Chaldeans and stuff. And, that's okay. I just wish people would tell the truth about, where all this here stuff come from. Because it's good. It is good. It is very good. But We need to have some understanding. Who we are, where we are, why we are. And that's a whole nother discussion. But, you know, the Yehud did not come along until all the other ones come along. There's a bunch of them. There's 12 of them. As far as we know, plus Dina. However that come about. But that's what the whole thing is. It's a family affair. Don't be square. Be there. Praise y'all. Learn the story. 1032. It'll bring you glory. Let's bring him glory. Praise y'all.